These are unfortunate stories about people's feet. Imagine being on a plane and seeing this. A passenger giving her husband a pedicure.
Ew.
This one's bad. This one needs attention.
It was crazy.
In 2018, Jake and Lynee Ruiz were on a flight from Denver to Milwaukee when they recorded the video.
Jake kept going, "Oh my God, you will not believe it. Look at them, look at them."
Everyone was kind of looking around and felt uncomfortable.
They say the pedicure was just the beginning.
They brought some burritos on board that stunk up the whole plane.
Oh, she was feeding him his burrito airplane style. So she was like,
Yeah. Well, she was on all fours in the aisle looking for her sock, and we couldn't whip out the camera in
she was
time.
just crawling around.
Yeah, crawling in the aisle. At first we were frustrated. We're like, man, this is going to be a long flight. And then we just made light of it and started enjoying the show.
Imagine seeing bare feet resting on the seat next to you on a plane. It happened to Jessie Chat, who thought she'd hit the jackpot on her JetBlue flight from Long Beach, California to San Francisco. She snapped this photo showing she had the whole row to herself.
I left all the armrests up because I figured, let's just make a big bench out of the situation. I was having a pretty good time.
But just as she got comfy,
one of the armrests just kind of came crashing down. Then I noticed a little foot kind of peeking out and just wiggling its toes and emerging from the row behind me. It's not what I expected to see. And then another foot came out of the other armrest. Toes were wiggling. It was just like they were seeing the light of day for the first time.
Then it got worse.
Until I saw one of the feet open the window cover on the plane. The left foot reached over and the toes kind of grabbed the little latch and it scooted it up and then it scooted it back down. I don't think that there's any experience that can top this one.
In 2017, Jasmine Mays got stuck on a plane next to this.
There are feet on my armrest.
She was on a 35-minute flight from Las Vegas to LA.
I'm sitting there in shock. I'm not really sure what to do. And so I thought to myself, I'm gonna take a video.
When she took out her cell phone to record the bright red toenails protruding out behind her.
I'm laughing my butt off. And I think that she realized then, they're laughing at you. Planes are uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable, but your discomfort doesn't necessarily mean that you make me uncomfortable.
In 2018, an innocent day of summer fun turned into an itchy nightmare for one teenager. Michael Dumas was at Pompano Beach, Florida when his buddies buried him. He didn't know it at the time, but lurking in the sand were tiny parasites called hookworms. They burrowed into Michael's foot and crawled under his skin. Yep, it's as nasty as it sounds.
They have a sucker-like mouth with teeth. Imagine that. They burrow typically in the soles of your feet.
As the hookworms crawled under his skin, Michael developed painful sores that became infected, and he wasn't the only one.
Out of 17 of our group has hookworms.
So how did the hookworms get on the beach? They most likely came from an infected dog who did their business in the sand.
The kid gets buried in the sand, they have a break in the skin, it gets into the skin, and you can kind of see it crawling underneath the skin.
We've never seen this, but that's quite disturbing.
And you don't have to be buried in the sand to contract hookworms. It could happen to anyone.
If you're walking on the beach, you're barefoot, you're walking and you get caught on a seashell, and that can leave an opportunity for the hookworm to get into the skin.
Cheers. There it is.
There it is.
In 2019, Nick Griffiths drank a cocktail containing his own toe.
All right, Nick. All right.
Yep, you heard that correctly.
Yeah, it was fine. It's one of those things that I think it sounds a lot worse than it actually is. Yeah, I was racing in a race called the Yukon Arctic Ultra. It was an ultra marathon here in the Yukon in the dead of winter. And 2018, the weather at the time of the race was beyond cold. It got down below minus 44. And I ended up with frostbite, and fortunately the frostbite I ended up on my foot was severe.
The frostbite was so severe that he had to have 3 toes amputated when he got back to England.
And I just asked the surgeon if I could have them, and he said to me, well, what do you want them for?
Nick had a plan. He mailed his former digits to the downtown hotel in Canada. the one and only place that serves the sour toe cocktail, which consists of a shot of whiskey and a dismembered toe. Important note, you don't actually ingest the toe. It just needs to touch your lips.
But your lips must touch this gnarly toe. Just your lips. No teeth, no tongue, no tonsils.
The sour toe tradition dates back to 1973. Someone reportedly found an old toe preserved in a bottle of moonshine.
Maybe they drank a little too much of that moonshine, but they came up with the idea of sour toe, which is a play on the word sourdough. A sourdough is somebody who survived the Yukon River and has some street cred, so it's, a bit of a pun.
Nick got a hero's welcome when he went back to Canada to have his sour toe.
I'm just your average bloke. I'm nothing special, but then everyone's coming up asking if they can have a photo with you. Can you sign this for me? So you're like a,
rock star.
It's like being a rock star for 10 minutes.
Slide joke.
Cheers. There it is.
There it is.
All right, Nick. All right.
From 2023, every day Joseph DeRuvo runs errands barefoot.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
He says he hadn't worn shoes for 20 years. He even runs and rides the New York City subway barefoot because of painful, inoperable bunions.
Being barefoot just allows me to go through my life without the shoes hurting my feet.
He even went barefoot during winter months.
On a day like this, still no desire to get warm, cover up your feet?
Oh, no. I mean, feeling the ground, it soothes me.
And formal events.
If they're friends and they're inviting us, I mean, they know who I am. I mean,
And you would go barefoot?
Oh, yeah, always. You see that sparkly thing right there? So that's like a piece of metal in there. I mean, I wasn't feeling it, so I'll pull it out.
His wife, Lynee, didn't mind his interesting quirk.
I literally wake up every morning thanking God that I get to spend my life with him.
That's mutual.
Bare feet and all.
That's very mutual.
Bare feet and all.
For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Andrea Swindall.